did the Packers make a massive mistake giving Jordan Love the biggest contract in NFL history? In this video, I'm going to break down this historic contract and why the Packers are taking a giant gamble on Jordan Love. Before I do, if you're new to the channel, please make sure hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up. It takes about 2 seconds and it really helps out our channel. But let's jump into the video. So yesterday, Jordan Love signs one of the biggest contracts in NFL history. It was a 4-year, $220 million deal, making him the highest paid or tied for the highest paid player in NFL history annually, $55 million per year. $155 million of the contract was guaranteed, and he got a $75 million signing bonus. But was it the right move by the Green Bay Packers? This is a really interesting topic because Jordan Love is a guy we've only seen play for one full season, and we've really only seen him play at a very high level for half a season, right? He played in 2 playoff games last year, although they snuck in as the 7 seed, and he has just 1 playoff win, given it was his first season starting. But he's going to make more money next year than All-Pro Josh Allen, 2-time NFL MVP Lamar Jackson, 3-time Super Bowl champion and 2-time NFL regular season MVP Patrick Mahomes. He's going to make more annually than those guys. And we've seen him play for 1 year and half a year at a decent level, right? And so we look at Jordan Love and, what do we really know about him, right? Well, the first half of the season last year was horrific. It was awful. If you watched him play, he looked like a guy lost out there. He looked like a guy who was not ready to be a starting quarterback for the first 9 games of the season, right? In the first 9 games of the season, he had 14 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, completion percentage below 59%, and the team was 3-6 in those first 9 games. They weren't even going to hit their win total of 7.5 is what it looked like as a team. And then something clicked, and he flipped in 1 game somehow. In the last 8 games of the regular season, 18 touchdowns, 1 interception, 70% completion, and the team went 6-2 and got into the playoffs. Obviously, as I mentioned, win the playoff game over the Dallas Cowboys, who are a completely separate video. But the numbers are fascinating, right? It's like you see this guy who, like I just said, looked lost out there, and it's so weird how it flips that quickly because most guys you see who improve in their first year or second year, there's a gradual improvement, or they have a little bit of a down first year, and then after a full off season and getting more coaching and having more time, they're better in their second year. But for it to happen just randomly, like in the middle of the season, that was unique here, right? And so, you have a guy who legitimately was playing at a bottom 5 level and then finished the season at a top 5 level, right? So Jordan Love is entering the 4th year of his contract going into this season, right? It's a rookie contract. He's set to make $11 million this year, and he would have become a free agent at the end of this season. I thought the fact that he played just 1 full season and how the season specifically played out, I thought the Packers were going to either give him a modest extension, right? Make him like a middling paid quarterback. Or if he didn't want that, I thought they were at least going to, see how the first, 5-6 games played out and then consider it, right? Like, obviously you don't want to get to the end of the year where he becomes a free agent. You also don't want him to be unhappy, but you don't think that a guy with that little experience is going to, I didn't at least, is going to hold out for a deal of that magnitude, but that's exactly what he did. He decided to hold out. He didn't go out to training camp, and he said, I want this deal. And as they were talking about this in the media, I heard a lot of people saying he was going to get a very big deal. I thought that was surprising. I figured the Packers were going to pay him. I just didn't think it was going to be this much money, right? And again, what makes this so unique and so different in this specific case is it is such a small sample size, right? If it were a bigger sample size and he had half of, maybe he's played for 3 years and a year and a half he was really good and the first year and a half he was really bad, that's different, right? Even just 2 years, 1 bad year to 1 really good year. But the fact of the matter is it was half of a season 8 games in a playoff game that he played well in, right? Very, very small sample size. And it's unique in this situation because normally a guy plays their first year as a rookie or a second-year guy, they're not up for their contract extension that quickly. But because he sat behind Aaron Rodgers for 2 years, now he has this year where he's really good at the end of the season. They win a playoff game, and now you're going into year 4, and he's wanting an extension the following year. So that's what makes this situation kind of different, right? I just don't know how I can be, as a Packers owner or management, how I can be 100% convinced that what I saw at the end of the year is who this guy is, right? I mean, we're basically flipping a coin from what we've seen in one season. Yeah, I mean, like, we're just going to give him this enormous contract based on what we saw in 8 games. It's kind of crazy to think about, but that's exactly what they did. And you're asking your organization to make an all-in gamble based on that small amount of games played, but they did it. They absolutely did it. But I mean, you think about how often we see guys have great first years, right? A whole great first year, and then have a slump, right? We see sophomore slumps all the time. I mean, I think about this too. Like, you think about the logic of this. So they give Jordan Love this big contract. Would they be giving him this contract if the Packers didn't make the playoffs? Right? Because they finished in the 7th seed. They lose one more game early on, right? Say they go 1-7, say they go 2-7 as opposed to 3-6 in that first 9 games. And he still has the exact same second half of the year. They miss the playoffs, don't get in, don't get the chance to play in a playoff game. Are the Packers extending him? Is he holding out for that? So it's like we're going to base it then on one game, right? A one game difference. That's what I think is just kind of interesting to talk about. I'm not saying there's a right or a wrong answer. I'm just saying it's really interesting to think that they gave this guy the contract that they did based on this small sample size, but it talks, or it leans itself to the fact that this is about the power of the quarterback in the NFL. And it doesn't matter about consistency or how long you've done it when you're talking about guys outside of the top 5 quarterbacks, right? Because it really doesn't even matter what you've done in the playoffs if you're a young quarterback. It's all about the fear of what will happen without this guy, right? What if we lose Jordan Love, right? What if we don't re-sign Jordan Love? Then where is our franchise, right? Is he worth $55 million a year at this point? Absolutely not. That's not debatable, right? He has not proved that he is worth that amount of money. They're taking a gamble on him because the alternative is that if we don't re-sign him now, we don't know what we're going to have. We could be bad for a decade or more when you look at some of those franchises who have been searching for a quarterback for years and years and years, right? Like the Chicago Bears, right? Or the New York Jets, who even when they were good had Mark Sanchez, who wasn't worth a darn anyway. And we see this all the time. We saw it last contract with Dak Prescott, right? The Cowboys didn't really want to pay him $35 million a year or whatever he got. But they did because what's the alternative? The fear of where are the Cowboys if they let go of Dak Prescott, even if he is a fringe top 10 quarterback at the time, right? I mean, look at some of the other guys who have gotten deals. Derek Carr, Jimmy G, Dak. Geno Smith was considered a bust at the beginning of his career. The whole first 4 years, he just got a $25 million a year deal, right? And so this is all about the power of the quarterback and the money Jordan Love got. It has nothing to do with Jordan Love. I wouldn't say nothing. It has part to do with Jordan Love, but it has everything to do with the fear of what happens if they don't have Jordan Love. That's all I got for this. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you think the Packers made the right or wrong decision re-signing Jordan Love and extending him to this massive contract? Also, make sure to subscribe and like this video. It takes a few seconds. Comments are big as well. All that stuff helps us. Thank you guys, though, for tuning in. Check out our other content on this channel, our full weekly podcast released every Tuesday, and a bunch of short videos about different sports topics. Got a lot of stuff coming from the Olympics this week, and I'll have some more videos out soon. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next time.